Okay, so in the last lesson, you learned about complex fractions, and now we're going to apply these to word problems on unit rates. So here is an example. Okay, so in this problem, Josiah can jog 1 1/3 miles in 1/4 hour. Find his average speed in miles per hour. Okay, so whenever we do word problems, one of the things that I recommend that you do is to read through the problem at sort of a medium speed to get an idea of what the problem is about. Don't worry about the details, just get a feel of the problem. So having read through it the first time, what I recognize is that Josiah is jogging, and he's jogging at a certain pace. And we need to find his average speed. Okay, so let's read this a little bit more carefully. And by doing that, or to do that, we read it slower. So in other words, Josiah can jog 1 1/3 miles. Okay, so think about 1 1/3 miles. And then he does it in 1/4 hour. Okay, think about what 1/4 hour is. Then find his average speed. Okay, think about what average speed is, and then in miles per hour. So it's asking you to find his average speed and then telling you what the unit rate is. Okay, unit rate in this case is miles per hour. Okay, so we're going to write out the equation that is already given to you in words, but we're going to write it in symbols. Okay, so speed, and I'm going to say average is equal to miles per hour. Okay, miles per hour. That line or the fraction makes it per. So the numerator is miles, the line is per, and then hour is the denominator. Okay, now we go back to the problem and we find out what numbers or what information is given to us. We're told that he can jog 1 1/3 miles. Okay, and he does it in 1/4 hour. So we have the miles, okay, and we also have the hour. So I'm going to rewrite this with the coloring. Miles per hour. Okay, well, we know that the miles is equal to 1 1/3, and we're given that the hour is in 1/4 hour. Okay, so now what we have is a complex fraction, just like the last lesson. So how do we do this? First, we're going to rewrite the numerator into an improper fraction. Okay, so that becomes 4/3 over 1/4. Okay, how did I get 4/3? I multiply this 1 right here by 3, the denominator. Then we add 1 from the numerator, which is 4, and we keep the denominator. So we get 4 over 3. Okay, so now we're going to rewrite this complex fraction as follows: 4/3 divided by 1/4. Okay, which is the same thing as 4/3 times the reciprocal, which is 4 over 1. And then now we multiply the fractions by multiplying the numerators first, which we get is 16 over 3. Okay, now you can't just leave the answer as 16 over 3. You actually have to write it in terms of the average speed. Now, if you recall at the beginning, speed average is equal to miles per hour. So we have to go back to the word problem, and it says find his average speed in miles per hour. Therefore, his average speed, is equal to 16 miles per hour. Okay, which is the same thing as 5 1/3 miles per hour. MPH. Isn't that interesting? Where have we seen that? Pretty much everywhere, on the freeway, on the local roads, surface streets, right? Miles per hour. That's what MPH stands for, miles per hour. Okay? All right. So let's try another problem. So Tia is painting her house. She paints 34.5 square feet in 3/4 hour. At this rate, how many square feet can she paint each hour? Okay, so we read through that at a medium speed, and we get the idea that she's painting at a house, and we need to find out how fast or how much is she able to paint in 1 hour. So let's read through this again, but a little bit slower. Okay, Tia is painting her house. Okay, so in your mind, picture Tia painting the house with a brush and paint in her hands. Okay, now we're given the first information. She paints 34.5 square feet in 3/4 hour. Okay, so we know 3/4 hours is about 45 minutes, and she's covering about 34.5 square feet. So think about a square feet. Okay, square feet is made up of think about 4 rulers put together making a square. Okay, and she can paint 34.5 of those in about 45 minutes or 3/4 hours. So now the question is, at this rate, okay, at this speed, how many square feet can she paint each hour? Or in other words, how many square feet can she paint if she were given an hour? Okay, so this is an average speed problem again. So the question is square feet is equal to and I'm going to say square feet average again, okay, is equal to square feet over hour. Okay, I might even rename this as coverage. You can call it whatever you want. It's basically how much of the house that she's able to paint. Okay, well, we know that the amount of square feet that she covers is given right here, right? 34.5. So now we're going to say this is equal to 34.5 square feet divided by how many hours? Well, we're given that too, 3/4 hours. So we're going to say divided by 3/4. Okay, so to calculate this, we need to change the numerator into an improper fraction first. So now this becomes 69 divided by 2. Okay, 34.5 is 69 halves. Okay, 34 times 2 is 68, plus the numerator, which is 1. That gives you 69. And we keep the denominator, which is 2. 69 over 2. Okay, divided by 3/4. So now we follow the complex fraction rule that we learned in the last lesson, and we rewrite this as 69 halves, okay, divided by 3/4. We also know that we can rewrite this as 69 halves times the reciprocal of 3/4, which is 4/3. We flip it around. Okay? And this reduces to 1, and this becomes 2, right? And this reduces to 1, and this 3 goes into 69 how many times? 23 times. Okay? And the product of 23 and 2 is 46. And the product of 1 times 1 is 1. So we leave that as 46. So the answer is she can cover 46 square feet per hour, or each hour. Okay? There was a lot of information packed in this. If any of this did not make sense to you, please go back in the video and listen to it again. Thank you.